الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Today our lecture gonna be about emotional intelligence and religion. How can we purify ourselves dealing with our emotions toward God? In our normal life we see and we face many struggles. Like you wake up in the morning early, you have to go do Salat al-Fajr. Salat al-Fajr is very heavy for someone to get used to it. Why? It is emotionally, you have to prepare yourself for it. You have a long day ahead of you, dealing with your kids, dealing with your brothers, you have to go work or you have to go to college. It's very hard and it's emotionally intense. During all these days, there's many things inside our body will change. And this change, it might affect us in a positive way or a negative way, in many forms. Our body, Allah Azza wa Jal, He created it in very, very beautiful way, in a way that He can take pressure. Allah Azza wa Jal does not send more pressure a person who He cannot handle. He cannot handle. That's why these days, many people who commit suicide or who feel that committing suicide or feel that it's so much pressuring they live in their life, they think they are the only people who are under this pressure. In reality, every single person, Allah Azza wa Jal, He sent different pressure because Allah Azza wa Jal does not send more for a person than what he can handle. And He mentioned this in the Quran. So let's study more what is emotional intelligence. Emotion, we can divide this word into two groups, emotion and intelligence. When we relate it together, we will have emotional intelligence. Now let's say, if someone, basic question will say, can emotion have intelligence? Yes, as we are, as a human being, we are very intelligent humans that we always struggle to find the truth. And this truth sometimes can cost our life, sometimes can cost our money, sometimes will cost that we lose many friendship, we gain new friendship toward the road that we choose. Emotion by themselves can be breaked by science or by philosophy. Let's go take the science side. Science inside our body for emotions can affected by hormones. Let's say God created something in my brain that we call it nervous loops, that I'll be able to love someone. If I keep thinking about this someone is so good for me, this someone make me feel happy, this someone make me feel so good about myself. Let's say when two people meet, the first thing they start talking about is how your eyes are beautiful, and then later on, how you are so good, when I talk to you I feel so myself, and later on the nervous system inside your brain will start making this loop. Like when you think about this person, immediately the loop will go toward the hormones that are there's a gland under your brain, small gland under the brain directly. When you feel yourself, or when your brain think that you are feeling good, it will send an order to this gland, and this gland, it will dispense a small amount of this hormone through your blood that will make you feel so good about yourself. So this is the emotional side. Emotional side deal by nervous system, deal by hormones, and deal by many aspects that Allah created biologically inside your body. If we take the other side, is spiritual, which normal science now does not believe on. But we can say, we have many proofs that we can prove to the science people who love science. We love science too, but those people who are atheists, usually they attach science of you being atheist. But in reality, the more scientific you become, the more you believe in God. And we will prove this by in our lectures. We will show the scientific people that science is attached more to religion than to atheism. Why? Because science with religion makes sense. Science with atheism make idiots. In reality, this is real. Okay, so now let's talk about spirits. When I go inside, immediately I see someone that I have no interface with. I don't talk too much, but I feel good about. In reality, science does not explain why this is happening. They say maybe his looks, he looked like someone you know before, and since you already know that this pattern will follow the other pattern. But in real reality, they made many research that you can go, let's say, to Russia, which is a person who you never seen before. Let's say, and our people, they look dark hair, regular eyes. You go to different country, they have a different hair, different eyes type of view. And when you see or you meet that person, you'll feel so comfortable with. He doesn't even have to say anything, but when you look at their face, you feel so comfortable. So why this is happening? Okay, we can study this from the many aspects. One of them is energy. And we said before, energy does not come from your cells. Even cells have a small part called mitochondrion. Mitochondrion is where sugar transferred or many things transferred. They give this type of energy like electric voltage that you can function. But electric voltage cannot produce high electromagnetic field that can affect different people. So your body has to have something else, a main source of energy that when you see someone you feel very comfortable with. So this generator is the spirit, basically the spirit. We have, inshallah, in the future we will talk more about the spirit, because the spirit is not inside the human body, and we can prove this in the future. We will make a special lecture for the spirit so people can understand what is it exactly, and we can stop this confusion. There's too much confusion between the self, the I, who I am, the brain, and the spirit. In the future, inshallah, we'll talk more about the spirit. Now, let's say the spirit is this main source, electric source, that is projected to yourself, and yourself is, you're resonating, we can say, you're resonating from this force for other to see you by. Let's say, for example, when you see someone you feel so comfortable about, this is him resonating with his energy source for you to feel him, to have these feelings. What kind of feelings he's projecting. So this is the first aspect of emotions. Emotions come from two sides. And we said biologically and by energy, which is projected directly by the spirit. This emotion with no intelligence will not make a human being. Why? Because you can have a beautiful flower or beautiful tree inside your house, like we have here, very beautiful, but it does not have a spirit. But everyone who sees it, he can like it. He say it's so beautiful. Why? Because it follows the pattern of beauty. The beauty have special pattern. If you follow this pattern, anyone can follow this pattern. It will be so beautiful. Same thing like what Da Vinci did inside his paintings. If we look at his paintings, it looks so creatively beautiful. Why? Because he follow specific type of geometry that made everything so perfect, and exactly like our human scales, our human pattern of beauty, what we call it. And what we call by the scientific name is the golden ratio, equal 1.6. Anything by 1.6 golden ratio will have the specific type of beauty. So if we're gonna follow this kind of pattern, it will be beautiful. But let's say we are humans with intellect. This intellect, what make us live, what make us create, what make us even reflect to the creation. If we mix intellect, if you want me to, let me define what intellect before. Intellect, or someone being smart, is a process that will go all our life. It will never stop. Why? Because it's built over too much experiences, trial and error. You have to try, make mistakes, learn. Let's say try, you didn't make mistake, you learn from it. You don't have to make always many mistakes. Our new generation, people like the new generation especially, they always fall into this trap. They always say we're gonna try ourselves for us to see if this will work for us or not, for us to decide. So we always ask them, take these drugs and try it. They'll say, yeah, we'll do it. But why you wanna do it? Can't you see there's many thousands or million of people who tried this before and look what happened to them? Or for example, a gun, if they're gonna shoot or whatever it is. What all the experience is based on what? In trial and error. But for us to have this scientific evolution, why we always have to try the same thing over and over and over, and we always have to talk about the same stuff over and over and over to say those things are very bad, and they're gonna be bad, and they're always gonna be bad. They're never gonna be good. And especially now these days, they say, let's say, let me smoke a little bit of marijuana. Marijuana will not hurt me. The many scientific research, they say marijuana will not hurt someone, but in reality it does hurt you. Why? Because you're away from your brain. Anytime you are away from your brain, you're going down. Allah Azza wa Jal, He does not want you to go away from your brain. The only part scientifically that always continuously working, even while you sleep, is your brain. Even when you're asleep, brain go down 40%, but 60% still working. And even there's high work area in different area during the day than at night. So the only part that never stops is your brain. Why? Because He does not want you to make this stop. This tool is a huge tool that if you stop it, if you go away from it, you think you are solving some problems, but what's actually happening is you are losing yourself. You are selling yourself to bad ideas. Let's say in a regular sense, you're selling yourself to the devil. This is selling yourself. When you start thinking, like if you start smoking, if you start drinking alcohol, what you're doing? You're going away. You're solving your problems, but in reality, problems still there. You're not thinking about them, but they're still there. You're making more problem. Your brain is getting this huge tool is becoming more dumb and dumb by time. And look how many those people are surrounding us, and they're growing more and more. This society now is become very dumb, and they're proud of too. Before, when you say to someone why you don't know this, he will say bad education. I tried. My life was hard. My life was harsh. But now these days, you can just buy a laptop for $200. Go to Google and start read. This is that. If you don't have money, can't you afford to buy a small laptop? You can connect to the internet and start read. Before they used to say we don't have libraries. Our education system is very bad. Whatever the reason is. But these days there's no excuse anymore. Why? Because it's so easy to get knowledge, to adapt to this kind of knowledge. It's free for you too. It's very free. It's very easy now to get a laptop and an internet and start reading. You don't have to spend those $500 to buy an Xbox to continuously keep playing on it. You become more even dumber than smoking marijuana. All exactly are the same. Is the same. So intelligence is built in this kind of level of experience, trial and error, and by this experience, by time, we adopt something called wisdom. Inshallah, in the future we talk about more wisdom, because many people they think wisdom is a partial of philosophy. When you see someone who is wise, you think whatever you ask him to is just he's saying no, because philosophy say you have to always be scared. You cannot do anything. Just sit down home. You take your paycheck and you're so wise. You're sitting home. You're safe. This is not wisdom. Wisdom in reality is the highest type of science. That in the future you know what is everything constructed of, and you can use it for your own sake. Even let's say someone has cancer, you can cure this cancer immediately by water. This is the real wisdom that Luqman in the Quran he had before. This type of wisdom. Anyway, we continue. So, why I'm talking about this? What is what triggered me to talk about this? Emotion with intelligence makes something very good. If you're emotionally right, you're dealing with your pressure daily, you're fine. With your intelligence, you have your way around. From all the pressure you have all day long, you can manage. You're managing. But these days, things are becoming more stressful too. Not just pressure and stress, many people they think are synonyms, but in reality they're not. Pressure and stress. Stress is biologically, and pressure is mentally. You have this mental that affecting your intelligence, and you have this stress that's affecting your body. Both of these two aspects that we talked about are stressed and pressure. And many people, they're trying to end that. They don't want this anymore. By what? Even by losing religion. They say, okay, if God loves me, why he's giving me that? If he really loved me, he should, I wake up in the morning, have $100 million check in my bank account, and all my problem will be solved. Well, look around us. Let's look around us. Let's evaluate this thing. 6 months ago, I remember reading in a newspaper a woman, she won $100,000, and this woman, she was a little famous. Why? Because she kept taking the check from the Medicare, I think. They used to give her $500 a month because she was poor. At the same time, she won $100,000. So the government sued her later to get the money back. But what's interesting about why I still remember this? What's interesting? After 6 months, this woman died, and she was 29 years old. It's really fascinating. Why this woman died? Because she had overdose. She overdosed. So she kept all her life asking God to give her the money to win the lottery. And when she won $100,000, after 6 months, she died. Okay, was this woman dumb, stupid? No, she's not. If someone gonna tell me, okay, if I get the $100,000, I'll keep them in account, I'll help the poor, I'm gonna build, the new hospital, everyone gonna be for free. But in reality, when we have this money, we're gonna forget about everything, and we're gonna go have the pleasure. The first thing that we think pleasure is getting away from our problems, which is go to drugs. And when she lose the money, she will say, why I lost all this money? She will become more stressful even. So we are built this way. We always want more. We never feel happy about what we have now. And this is the main reason of our problem. I don't want to talk about this aspect, but I'm saying what's happening. So every single one of us, we're always waiting for a paycheck. To wake up in the morning, we have $100 million in our bank, and everything gonna be alright. We're gonna be helping every people we find. In reality, when we have, let's say I wake up tomorrow morning and I have $1,000 in bank account, I will never call anybody. I'll just go to the best restaurant, I eat it, and finish the $1,000, and then I'll make sure nobody knows about it. This is the reality. So why this? Because we're always built for pressure. You wake up in the morning, you turn on, let's say, the radio. The radio, they always give you this music. We think always music is very, it will take the stress away. But even in reality, even, let's be honest with ourselves, even Islamic music, some people think it's right to listen to it, and it's right to listen to it. I'm not saying anything. It will block the idea, same thing like drugs. Even some studies said music, whatever it is, music, classical music, hard rock music, whatever, even hard rock music has more bad effect than anything, but they're more addictive than drugs. Someone can be addicted to them more than someone addictive to the drug. So music here can have what? They block your ideas. Let's say I'm thinking tomorrow about this test. It's so bad, I studied my best. Now I open the TV, there's MTV, there's a nice song that I like so much. I start thinking, singing with it. Suddenly I feel, my head is is not heavy anymore. Why? Because the song is made me relax. But in reality, what happened? My brain, those roads are open. My brain, I keep thinking about the idea. They become stressed. When I'm thinking about something else, this music made me think about something else. So all the stress revealed from this place to the different places, different nerves. What happened in reality? Nothing. I just moved. I switched from place to place, but the problem's still there. I didn't really fix it. I didn't really feel better. In reality, I could just not think about the test, which is which is how we can do it by prayers. Usually, that's why we say when you go to prayer, the only thing what you think about is God. You're now praying to God. This is mean you are in your best. You're gaining energy. At the same time, you're not thinking. You're not taking different road. You're not blocking the ideas. All what you're doing is just you're revealing your stress. So you're taking the good energy, at the same time revealing the stress. With music, what's happening is you're blocking from place, but you're stressing different places. Let's say how a person can be like this. I'm making a mistake. Someone can claim that. Let's go to love side. Someone in love. Okay. If someone in love, when I see a woman, let's say a beautiful woman, I'm talking to her. If I'm not a guy who listens to music. Let's suppose that. I will think about this woman from my brain and my heart at the same time. I'll say, does this woman fit? Will be this woman good for me in the future? And then my brain will say yes, because so and so and so. And my heart will say, yeah, she's nice, I can fit her, so and so. There's many aspects into that. Just from this side. Okay, let's say I'm a person who listens to music. When I am gonna think about this woman, I will say, I remember a song that talk about eyes. Oh, her eyes are beautiful, her so and so. I'm gonna start singing, and then I'm gonna be missing very important point. That me thinking about her what? I'm thinking about her eyes. That's it, or me about her hair. My brain now it's trained to think about very stupid thing that they're not gonna be anything in the future. None of her hair, none of her eyes. So I'm missing very important point that they're gonna become very stressful in the future. Because let's say this woman is a drama queen, and I opened myself to not thinking about these things. Because why? I'm trained to always listen to music. What's gonna happen? I'm gonna be facing more trouble in the future. I'm just giving you one piece. We can talk about job. We can talk about, let's say we watch let's say someone being searching for a job, and then suddenly he found his job at Google. This movie, and then what in a movie? It's so beautiful. The challenge is so nice, and then everything gonna be fine at the end in the movie. But in reality, it's not like this. So if we think about those things, they will affect the other things, reality and non-reality. So this is the bad energy we take from music, we take from movies. Even though I'm not saying it's haram not to listen to them, because some maraja they say it's fine. Some of them are classic. Some of them they're just music. They don't have any lyrics or anything. So I'm not saying anything, but I'm just talking in general. Now, after all this, we're saying what's affecting biologically, what's affecting us. Why some become mean, some they don't become mean, even though emotionally we are built the same. Many people they're gonna laugh at that, but the way you eat, the food you eat, the money you take from your job, whatever you eat, it will affect you. It will affect your heart. It will affect the heart, because I told you before, the spirit, we take the energy from spirit. Heart is like a mirror. It's reflected by all this energy by those mirror, and then they go to your brain. This is how you get your idea. The more pure you are, the more purity you reflect, and this will be reflected by your action, and it will be reflected by reaction. The people how they react with you. So we live in the West, in West, and before, when we were our country in the East, let's say someone from wherever, Middle East or Pakistan or Iran, or we didn't pay attention too much for eating halal. Why? Because automatically there are too many Muslims. It's halal anyway. It will be strange for you to go, let's say, from Middle East here, and then the first thing you ask for halal. Why? Because you're not trained this way. It's normal for you to eat halal, and you never know that you should eat halal. But when we come here, many people they stress this idea. They say, okay, Allah in the Quran said, ولا تذكروا ما لم يذكر ولا تأكلوا ما لم يذكر اسم الله عليه. يعني you never eat something that God's name never mentioned on. But in the same ayah, those people who don't read, who does not want to read, does not want to understand, does not want to comprehend, that there's a big section before this ayah saying you have to eat before, as a tazkiyah. Tazkiyah mean you have to kill the animal the right way. Even Islam paid attention to that area. Now I was watching a movie a couple days ago. This movie really stressed me. The way here in the West they kill animals is very stressful. I swear, if you really watch this movie, the way they kill chicken, the way they make eggs, the way they kill cows, even the pig, the way it's very stressful. Islam, and they claim, this country they claim, or our country in the West, they claim they love animals so much that even really it's crazy. But in reality, if you look how Islam order us to kill the animal, to make the dhabiha for you to eat halal, it will purify you. When they put the animal on the floor, the animal immediately will have like a sort type of coma. This is subhanallah. Allah built this in an animal. You can try it. You can bring let's get a chicken, put her in her bag. Immediately you see the chicken giving you her neck. Immediately, it will not fight you, and you can leave her this way. Take your hand out. It will stay like this for a minute, and then when she turn back, she will go back to life like she never been there in the floor. She will never remember anything during the floor. Same thing any animal, like the cow or anything. But if you kill other animal that Allah told you don't eat from, they will be always fighting with you. Why? Because Allah didn't permit you to eat from them. So eating halal will give this heart always be softened, will soften the heart. Now let's see here in this country, let's tell them 5 kids died in a bus. They will say, oh my God, I'm so sorry for that. And they stand like 5 minutes, and after that they leave to their house like nothing happened. They have love, but their love is different than what the Muslims have as for humanity. Imam Ali said, if he's not your brother in religion, he's your brother in humanity. And nobody have this. Even in United Nations, they taken this saying for Imam Ali as the best thing universally for dealing with each other. There's nothing called politics between human emotional or stuff like this. So for us to relieve all this stress, inshallah in the future we're gonna talk more by science. I'm now just in those lecture. I'm just gonna give lecture as a definitions. In the future we're gonna go very deep in science. How can we relieve ourselves from that? Let's say, for you to always relieve yourself from stress, biologically you have to do wudu. Some people they say, what's the relationship between wudu and prayers? Wudu mean when you put the water in your hands. Wudu is, let's say all day long my body is collecting ions, negative ions. When I put wudu in my hands, all these ions will go away immediately from my body. It's like dispensing all this bad energy from you and preparing yourself to go to salat. So let's say you want to eat, why you don't do wudu before? Even if it's not wajib, but why you don't do it? Everything gonna go inside you, why you don't purify it? Food, if we said food have bad food, haram food, let's say the one is not it's not killed right Islamically, so it's gonna make your heart harden, right? So why we don't use wudu to make our heart softer, even if it's lahmi halal? You know what I mean? Because now the meat can have bad energy. We have halal meat, it will have normal energy. But why we don't have halal meat with wudu before? Why we're taking the bad energy from the body? We have nice food, nice meat, and then together mixed will make you a better person. We'll have this better energy for you. Yeah. So we have, for example, the wudu. We have sujood lillah azza wa jal. If you're so stressed, why you don't do sujood? Many people now they go to yoga. They say yoga is the best thing. You know, they sit down for 2 hours not thinking about anything, and then they feel they're so good. That by the science of energy, that's right. Why? Because you're not thinking about anything. What's happening? You're not going into the same loops you used to go all day long. So when you go away from it, you feel you're so better. I would recommend this type of thing better than listening to music. I would recommend that because you're reflecting more. But in reality, yoga, you're not reflecting on anything. All what you're doing is not thinking about anything. In salat, when you do salat or sujood, you're still not thinking about anything. But the way you are, your body is set. The way when you go down is set. You are resetting all the energy. You're not just not thinking about anything. You are resetting the energy of the body. And the sujood, if you want to reach this high spiritual world, do the sujood. Don't think about anything at the beginning, because you don't need to do any more. When you do this, you will feel a little tired in your body at the beginning, but later on you start feeling more energy. Why? Because you are resetting your brain too. When you do yoga, you're sitting here like this. The blood is not flowing inside your brain. But when you do the sujood on the floor, there's more blood is flooding there. More blood, and yes, and you are resetting yourself to the floor. Why? Because you're having your hand, the arm, the legs, and your head all on the floor. So you're resetting your brain, your body from 7 different points to the ground. You're grounding yourself 7 times. In yoga, you're grounding yourself only from one place, because you're sitting in this way. So Islam still provided better solution for stress from wudu, and because I'm talking biologically, and from the other side, because I'm talking by energy and physically. So regarding those two things, we perform purity, and purity can give us a better solution for emotional intelligence. These things. But in sujood, I'm saying when you do sujood, you will relieve all the stress. In my main point here, not getting oxygen more to the brain. I'm saying resting the body. It will be more rested this way. Yeah. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله. Yes. وصلى الله